Everyone. Welcome to Channel 7. My name is Megan Roy and I am your host for this evening. On this segment, we'll be delving into the recent Holocaust denial claims on the Fairfield University campus. Why exactly are these students claiming such a thing? General revisionist claims follow a very similar pattern. First, they firmly believe that the number of Jews killed during the Holocaust is greatly exaggerated. Second, they claim that the means of murdering the Jews, like the gas chambers and crematoria, could not have handled the number of victims claimed. On the other hand, deniers are claiming that the Nazis had no organized plan or intent to kill the Jews. What both revisionists and deniers have in common, however, is some sort of anti-Semitism that even further works to deny the legitimacy of the State of Israel. Here's Emily Roy on the Fairfield University campus interviewing students' perspectives on the matter.
Thank you, Megan. I'm here at Fairfield University in one of their dormitories with Gianna Nerney. Now tell me more, do you think the Holocaust happened?
I definitely don't think that the Holocaust happened in the way that it is taught in our history classes. It definitely did happen. I watched documentaries on the subject various times, and many scholars would agree with me. There were not 6 million Jews killed in the Holocaust. This number is a misrepresentation of historical data and evidence. In fact, one of the most, and when I tell you one of the most, prominent revisionists of the Holocaust, Paul Rassendier, asserts that the number of Jews exterminated is greatly exaggerated due to the following factors. 1, they were missing. 2, they died of natural war causes. And 3, they immigrated and escaped to other lands.
Wow, you've heard it here first, folks. And now we're moving upstairs. And you, do you think the Holocaust happened?
Who are you? How'd you get into my house?
Oh, one of your roommates let me in.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Did it
About
happen?
what happened?
The Holocaust.
Oh, I think the Holocaust happened. There's no feasible way that the gas chambers acted in the way that history textbooks describe they do. No event in history has been more falsely represented, in my opinion. Research has shown that there were never more than 2 million Jews held in the concentration camps, deeming the 6 million Jews exterminated as simply impossible, you see. The estimation of Jews who lost their lives has been attributed by some scholarly claims to the result of all war causes, not simply mistreatment and mass extermination by gas chambers or crematoria.
Okay, we're gonna move on from here. And now we're gonna go see a bedroom.
Rise and shine.
Hello. Sorry to wake you. I just have a couple questions to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on, let me check my phone a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you think the Holocaust happened?
Do I think the Holocaust happened? Well, actually, I just saw a thread of articles on Facebook that changed my opinion about the Holocaust. The articles discussed the idea that Hitler was not, in fact, in charge of creating this mass plan to exterminate the Jewish population. Rather, he was forced into it by his aggressive allies, the Americans, the Russians, British, and the French, to wage war. That's a little extreme for me. But another article in the thread discussed the idea that the Germans only admit to the Holocaust occurring during World War II because they would rather confess to something, demonstrate guilt, and compensate for their actions to receive less international hate. When you think about it, this actually makes sense and is smart of them. The Jews were not victims. They were simply creating this event to destroy Germany's credibility and win over the sympathy of the world to legitimize the formation of the State of Israel.
Wow, that just goes to show what you can find on Facebook now,
I dreamt
can't
about
you?
it.
Okay. And now we will bother just one more student. Hi.
Hello, stranger.
Hello. So could you give me your opinion on the Holocaust? Do you think it happened?
This whole talk lately about Area 51 had me questioning things that we were told growing up. I had a professor once that said, in order to live your life fulfilled, you must question even the facts you are most certain about. It's like what they did during the Enlightenment periods, people had open and honest debates about historical facts in order to uncover new truths. There's no growth even if we don't, as a collective unit, participate in this. What she just said should not be laughed at and should be considered as truth and further researched.
Okay. Well, like I've been saying, you've heard it first here, folks. Fairfield University is definitely undergoing some interesting stuff regarding the Holocaust. All right, back to you, Megan.
I find it interesting how widespread Holocaust denial is across the Fairfield University campus. While the claims have become more popularized throughout the world given the rise of popular culture and responses to the denier theories, these pseudo-historical claims may have anti-Semitic roots. Studies have even shown that the movement is becoming more political. In recent years, extremist views and groups like anti-Semites, anti-Zionists, and white supremacists have been pushing their own political agendas through denying or trying to revise the claims and the facts of one of the largest genocides in human history. Contributing factors of Holocaust denial are centered around the ease of self-publishing on the internet, coupled with audience ignorance and consequential desensitization by the means of the media. Tune in tomorrow night for a 60-minute special program on Truths About the Holocaust. This is Megan Roy at Channel 7 signing off. Have a great night and see you tomorrow. Good evening. Tonight I have with me Deborah Lipstadt, Holocaust expert, to address the growing societal belief that the Holocaust either did not happen or its magnitude was blown out of proportion compared to the actual events. Ms. Lipstadt, how are you this evening? Thank you for joining us.
I'm well, thank you. It's great to be here. I'm delighted to talk to you on this matter that truly breaks my heart every time it's brought up. Let's be clear, the Holocaust did happen.
First off, please explain to me, how does this idea of Holocaust denial even come about?
Essentially, as I have come to understand it, the idea has blossomed as a result of ignorance and neglect towards historical truths, events that have occurred with substantial documentation in the forms of diaries, photographs, what have you. It is in its purest form a classification of pseudo-history. Not to mention, it would be less painful and heart-wrenching to deny the fact that about 6 million innocent Jews died at the hands of the Nazis. Some believe this notion was ignited by neo-Nazis themselves, who after having a tarnished reputation, yearned for the need to look better in the eyes of the public. Some others argue logistics, stating that gas chambers could not have been large enough or efficient enough to hold and execute approximately 6 million Jews. There are others that deny the events of the Holocaust were intentional, calculated actions of the Nazi Party.
Wow, that is both interesting and disturbing to some degree. In your research, what have you come across to prove the Holocaust actually did happen?
Yeah, so the perpetuation of Holocaust denial over the past few centuries has been a result of a few different schools of thought. One of the most crucial points to consider is the fact that revisionists are simply disguising themselves as deniers to make their cases more credible, more effective. The rise in popular culture, coupled with the increasing accessibility of the internet, has fostered an environment in favor, really, of self-publishing. This has allowed for a great deal of illegitimate sources to be broadcasted on a macro level. Among these publications, you will find a consistent misuse of information and historical data to craft entirely false claims.
Interesting. Care to elaborate on those claims?
Yeah, sure. So as time progresses and the Holocaust falls further into history, denialist claims are becoming more well-received by the public without eyewitness accounts. The majority of denialists have been further evolved into neo-Nazis and anti-Semitic extremist groups, which furthers the point that we must ignore these relative truths. It is simply ignorant to believe that something so well documented could be denied. The plethora of evidence, including the Holocaust museums around the world, L.A. Wiesel's memoir, along with other survival accounts, and the existence of concentration camps in Germany should be sufficient enough evidence to prove the Holocaust was the most prominent, not to mention the most well-documented, genocide in human history. Any denialist claims should be ignored and considered racist and irrational. The evidence written in our very history books outweighs any of these ludicrous claims.
Thank you for clarifying. That's about all the time we have tonight, folks. For more information on the Holocaust, please visit the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum website. And please join us for a riveting talk tomorrow night on aliens in the recent Area 51 claims. Yourself, I have legit 3 minutes. Time off. The fuck did I choose though?
Okay.
Ready? Bloopers.
It's just 'cause I
Take
keep laughing.
10.
It is in its purest form a classification of pseudo-history. Not to mention that it would be less painful and heart-wrenching to deny the fact that about 6 million innocent Jews.
What kind of Jews?
It's not Jews, it's a sentence. And now we're moving upstairs. And do you think the Holocaust happened?
Who the hell are you? Sorry, I started